Hey guys, welcome to another Tinker video. So in this quick one I will show you how to set up the latest Raspberry Pi stack, namely a Raspberry Pi Model 3 Plus and Raspbian Stretch in minutes without the need for any cables besides your USB charger. So I know that this might not be news for many of you out there, but for me it was really useful information, so I thought why not share it with you. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is quite simple. First of all, you will need a copy of Raspbian Stretch. You can go to the official Raspbian site seen in the URL bar, and then, or I will put the link into the description as well, and then you can just download Raspbian Stretch Lite. So you can click download zip here. It's a few hundred megabytes, so not a big deal. I've already downloaded it. So next one, you will need a tool that is able to burn images. In my case, this is Etcher. I really like this little tool. So I just select image. Is the zip file I downloaded. Okay. This is the point where I will need my SD card. Here we go. Now let's click flash. Okay, here we go, flash complete. So it means that now we have Raspbian Stretch on that SD card. But before we can use that on the Raspberry Pi, first it will need some preparation. So let's see the SD card. Leave me alone, Windows. So we have a partition here called boot, which is a FAT32 partition, and writable from Windows. There's another partition that contains actual Linux, but we just leave that alone. So here we go. First we need to enable our Wi-Fi. To do this, you will have to create a new file in the root folder of the boot partition. So first grab whatever text editor you are familiar with. I'm using Visual Studio Code. Create a new file and paste this content inside the file. I will just copy paste this content into the video description, so no worries about that. This is pretty straightforward. You will have to change this and this to your Wi-Fi settings. Now just save the file in the root folder and name it like this. Okay, that's it. Now we have the file there. The next step for a full headless installation is that we need to enable SSH. This is even more easy. Just create another file and save it without any content and name it SSH without any extension. Save it into the same root folder of the boot partition. Okay, let's save it. By default, Visual Studio Code decided to name it ssh.txt. You will have to rename it and remove that extension if your editor does the same. And basically that's it. Now it's time for us to dismount this SD card, insert it into the Raspberry Pi and boot it up, and let's see what happens. So that's what I will do now. Okay. So once your Pi has booted up, you will have to check your router, because by default it will use, the Raspberry Pi will use DHCP to get an IP address. So it means that depending on your router settings, it will end up some automatically assigned IP. Whenever you go to the router's DHCP client list, which I can't show you because it highly depends on the router model. You will see a host called Raspberry Pi, and you will see this lease time, which means that how long since a new IP address is assigned to that host. And after you booted it, it will be pretty much similar, like 23 hours 59 minutes or something like that left out of 1 week default DHCP lease time. Or again, this whole lease time can depend on your router, but you will see that it's pretty close to the actual lease time, meaning that this IP address has been just assigned. Okay, so it means that you will have to use this IP address to connect to your newly installed Raspberry Pi, and you will need an SSH client like PuTTY. So I've already set mine up and already copied the IP address, so I can just open, and yeah, here we go. Now the default user is, as far as I remember, Pi, and the default password is Raspberry. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is it. We have a Raspberry Pi in a totally headless way up and running. Now you have to do some further steps, like changing the host name to something more meaningful instead of Raspberry Pi. So this one will change after a reboot. And you will have to secure this user, because this Pi user has the default password, and just as this warning says, it is widely known. So if someone can reach this Raspberry Pi within your network or from outside of your network via your router, then your newly installed Pi is in danger. So you will have to use the password command to set a new password for this user, create other users, but basically those are normal Linux administration stuff and pretty much out of the scope of this video. So as I said, that's it. We have a Raspberry Pi running in like 3 easy steps. Okay, thanks for watching this, guys. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, and thank you. See you next time.